So earlier this week, I made a post saying that it doesn't sit right with me that there are white people who own property, multiple properties at that, in the United States of America, while Black and Indigenous people are experiencing homelessness. And I want to expand on that, especially for my new followers who are white, who followed me because of my anti-racist content. I'm glad that you're listening to me, but I really want to make sure that you're hearing what I'm saying. There will never be Black liberation or Indigenous sovereignty as long as the United States of America exists. If you want Black folks around the globe and in this country liberated, if you want Indigenous folks to be able to have sovereignty over the lands that they're Indigenous to, then the United States of America needs to cease to exist. And I don't know if y'all are ready for that. I don't know if that's what y'all signed up for. I'm not sure if anti-racist work is just something you do to lessen the inconvenience of racism in your life, but I hope you're ready for this. It's not for the weak.
All right, Jason.
Okay.
So
you ready for that?
Yeah, I was about to say. So look, I love like the escalating qualities of anti-racism. It's like, okay, now that you're in, let's be honest about what's really going on here.
All right. So whoa.
You're not anti-racist enough until you want to abolish the entire country. Are you in?
Yeah. So first of all, let's not conflate all anti-racism with thinking that the United States should cease to exist. So again, cool clip, and I know I looked at a text from one of our producers and he was kind of pissed that I said one of our clips was silly. You know what I mean? So I won't say that, but I definitely think, because I love him, he knows I love him, shout out. But I definitely think that to conflate this with all anti-racism, and I mean, if you're not anti-racism, what are you?
Well, here's the
thing. What I mean?
Yeah,
that's my question.
Obviously, nobody.
If you're not anti-racism, what exactly are you?
I mean, there's almost nobody who's like actually pro-racism. The whole thing's so stupid.
I don't know about that.
I do. I don't think you do.
I don't think you do. You haven't seen my email or my mail or anything. If you think that there's no people who are pro-racism.
You didn't hear right. You're not repeating me correctly. I didn't say no people. I said the very small number of people who are pro-racism. I mean, it's just the whole concept is insane. Look, the majority of the country, the overwhelming majority of the country, I think you agree, is full of decent people who abhor racism, right?
Are you asking me that as a question?
Yeah, I'm asking you as a question. Overwhelming majority of the country,
the majority
people who abhor racism.
Yeah, the majority of the people in this country.
Overwhelming. It's not even close. Overwhelming. It's like
the majority of the people in this country definitely are against racism. I also think that there are, and that's individual racism. I think that again, we could have a discussion, which we don't have time for today, but the differences, the different types of racism, individual and institutional. I think most people abhor individual racism. Absolutely, I agree with that. Most people are against calling someone, out of their name, or, not letting someone eat at a particular restaurant because of their race, or, I definitely think we're there. But I will say this, even on individual racism, they've done studies, and this generation, and I always show this to my students, according to many studies, this generation today is not a whole lot less racist individually than baby boomers. Mm-hmm. So the okay boomer thing, there are many studies that show when they ask questions, are African American people less intelligent? Are they less hardworking? All of those kinds of things, when you start parsing it out, if you ask somebody, are you against racism? People be like, yeah, I'm not racist. But are African American people less hardworking? Are they lazy? Yes. Mm-hmm. Then the racism starts coming out. So again, I think, we can take this blanket thing. If you want to say blanket, are people not pro-racism? I know that's kind of a weird thing. But I agree with that. But if you want to start parsing it out, then some of these things start to come out a little more so.
My point, and I kind of reiterated it probably in an earlier clip, but the idea is like, this anti-racism movement is by and large a vehicle for bringing prejudice back to the United States. This is, and when you say like, you can't encapsulate all anti-racists in the thoughts of like one girl on a TikTok video. I agree with you totally. But also it's kind of a sign that like like nobody really quite knows exactly what it is and what the limits are, right? So like it's spinning off in a million directions. A lot of this so-called anti-racism is mostly like a social media movement anyway. It's like this kind of slacktivism where people stare into cameras and then say what you need to do in order to play your part in the fight or whatever. And that's what she's saying, like, are you ready? Like, we got to abolish America. It's like the Ibram Kendi thing. It's like, he's like, okay, well, the only answer to past discrimination is current discrimination.